Ya Baraka, Ya Baraka, Yahweh, Yahweh, Waya Shamaka, Waya Shamaka, Yahweh, 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 Panyawa Al Yak, Panyawa Al Yak, Waya Khanka, Waya Khanka, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yasha Yahweh, Yasha Yahweh, Panyawa Al Yak, Panyawa Al Yak, Waya Sham, Waya Sham, Laka Shalom, Laka Shalom, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Shah, Barak Rapah, Barak Rapah, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Shah, Barak Rapah, Barak Rapah, Yasha Allah, Yasha Allah. Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Kwadash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwatka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratazar, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Lathananawa, Lacham, Kal, Yawam, Wasalachnawa, Chaubwathnawa, Kasalachnawa, Chaubwathinawa, Wala'a, Tabia Anawa, Manasaya 1, Abal, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa Allah, Wa Thapa Arath, La'ai Walamyam, Aman.
That an Israelite made it. The suckers gon' talk, the cowards gon' hate it. No matter what they say, I'ma go get it done. There's really no choice if you from where I'm from. Some people gon' be glad, others gon' be mad. You juicing off the hate and relapse, and you need rehab. I could show you things, all you see is the rings. Don't get blinded by ice, my brother. Pick a lane, learn a skill that'll get you very well paid. Investing in trades like a monopoly game. All you need is your brain and be willing to change. You'll have obstacles in life, but don't look at it strange. Adapt to your environments, get well rounded. In the laws of the Most High, stay well grounded. Things happen and life goes on. Let the haters hate while you stay strong.
Don't say I can't have it, 'cause that just makes me want it more. Number one status.
Number one.
I gotta do good there the time before. Don't be mad at me when I get it.
Don't be mad, bro.
You gon' be mad at me when I get it done.
I'ma get it done.
Don't be mad.
Do what you need to do, there's a king in you. But if talent don't work, it won't be useful. I remember the times of free school lunch. Whatever we didn't eat, moms took it for our brunch. Pops was working hard, now I know how it feels to have extra. He used to bring us meals on wheels. If you know, you know. Free things was a major help. That's why anytime I get, I always try to help. Those who are in need, who know are sincere. It makes me feel good when they smiling from ear to ear. Let them be mad, I'm bearing my cross. All my failures was a lesson, never counted a loss. Edomites make way, cause they know I'm a boss. Sitting in the Lambo, while they sit in the porch. And they wondering how, so they try to converse. The ones that smile in your face are usually the worst.
Don't say I can't have it, 'cause that just makes me want it more. Number one status.
Number one.
I gotta do good there the time before. Don't be mad at me when I get it.
Don't be mad, bro.
You gon' be mad at me when I get it done.
I'ma get it done.
Don't be mad.
All right, shalom, shalom. Ashar Shabbat. I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to the Most High by way of His Son Yahweh Shai. Just want to thank Him for allowing us to be here on this beautiful Sabbath day, right? The beginning of the Sabbath. Just praying to the Most High that this thing is edifying, right? Edifying to brothers and sisters. Um, so you can, get a word in before we start.
Shalom, everybody. All praise to the Most High that we got another Sabbath day here, and hope everybody enjoy their Sabbath and pray that the Most High will sooner or later get us out of here, so we don't have to continue to say all praise to the Most High that we're here for another Sabbath, coming from these wicked week and everything. But all glory and honor, we're here, and I know the class will be edification because anything that's the truth is definitely always edification going on as long as it's coming from the Word of God. Other than that, I land there.
Right. So let's get into it. Right. Don't want to waste too much time. So we literally got quite a few videos. Right. And as I'm talking, I'm gonna start sharing my screen. Right. So the purpose of this class is to literally show, brothers and sisters, and have sympathy, empathy, right, and even maybe some tips for some solutions that have this situation, right, of being a stepfather, stepmother, right. Now I know it's titled "Woes of a Stepfather," so its main focus is on the fathers, right, but right, you sisters will not be excluded in this either. You know what I'm saying? Because any good stepfather, right, has a good wife, right? That's how it works. If the wife is not a good wife, hey, that stuff more times than not is not gonna work, right? It's either a bad wife or sometimes the kids is just rebellious. You know what I'm saying? So this is for any brother or sister that's dealing with this or has yet to even come in contact with this kind of situation. So if it's something that you are maybe in the midst of, you might want to maybe you want to rethink it, maybe you're not. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you take this and you apply some of the things that will be brought out, right? So starting out, we're gonna go to, because this, is gonna be about wisdom, right? So Wisdom of Solomon. We're gonna be going to chapter 6, right? Go to the Book of Wisdom. So going to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, and we're gonna pick it up at the first verse.
All right, this is the Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6. Hold on, Salakia. All right, this is the Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, and starting at verse 1. Hear therefore, O ye kings, and understand, learn, ye that be judges of the ends of the earth.
All right, so this is something that we need to hear, right? Something very, very important that we need to hear. Go ahead.
Verse 2. Give ear, ye that rule the people, and glory in the multitude of nations. For power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty from the highest. We shall try your works and search out your counsels.
Go ahead.
Because, being ministers of his kingdom, ye have not judged aright, nor kept the law, nor walked after the counsel of Yahweh.
All right, so this is why a lot of times we end up in situations like this. We end up in situations to where you find yourself married, or not even, you're not even keeping the laws of God, so you're not even married, right? So being ministers of this kingdom, we have to do what? We have to judge right. And Solomon is saying, hey, you haven't did that, right? So go ahead.
All right. Verse 5. Horribly and speedily shall he come upon you, for a sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places.
Right. So the ones that's in high places, right, is in this sense, right? We're talking about the men of the homes, right? So this is sharp judgment Why? Because believe it or not, most of us, if not hell, all of us, the ones that are married currently, right, or with a woman currently, you're not with the first person that you slept with. So at some point in your life, you've committed some type of adultery, right? It just is what it is. You know, whether you had the knowledge of it, of this person being with somebody else or not. So sharp judgment comes, right? And it's not until you come into the knowledge of the truth and repent to where the Most High starts to release some of that judgment. So when we have these blended homes and households, right, you got to realize that that's a judgment, especially when you're dealing with something, right? You think you ain't did nothing wrong. You think you raising a child okay. But so for some reason, kindness is not being reciprocated in that home, right? Because it's a judgment, right? Let's keep going.
Verse 6. For mercy will soon pardon the meanest, but mighty men shall be mightily tormented.
Mm-hmm.
For he which is Lord over all shall fear no man's person, neither shall he stand in awe of any man's greatness. For he hath made the small and great, and careth for all alike.
All right, go ahead.
But a sore trial shall come upon the mighty.
Mm-hmm.
To you, therefore, O kings, do I speak, that ye may learn wisdom, and fall not away?
Go ahead.
For they that keep holiness, holy shall be judged holy. And they that have learned such things shall find what to answer. Wherefore, set your affection upon my words, to desire them, and ye shall be instructed.
All right, so set our affection upon the words of the Most High God. Right? So I want to go into the first video, right? The first video that I did see that sparked this, right? So for those of you who don't know, right, this is boxer or ex-boxer, right?
Still boxing, still currently.
Oh, he's still currently boxing? Okay.
Yeah.
So Deontay Wilder, right? He, you know, doing this interview, and I'm gonna just let him, he's gonna speak for himself, right? He's gonna speak for himself.
I took the role of being your son father, not just a daddy, but a father.
Right.
I went in so hard, bro. I went in so hard because I went in so hard to the point where I put them on my wheel. I had a meeting with my kids. I said, how y'all feel if I scoot y'all over? I scoot over a little slide and let somebody else get a little bit of it. And, you know, my kids are amazing. They're my best friends. And they was down with it. So I moved a little space over and added her son. And I'm like, you ain't even my son for real.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Wow. Damn, that has to take a toll.
I put her in my wheel as well too. Yeah. You was just my girlfriend. You ain't even my wife.
I hope that's.
See, pause it right there. That's the number one problem, right? We got to understand that the Most High don't do that girlfriend boyfriend stuff. It don't happen, right? This is why we have to have courtship, right? Which you don't necessarily find in the Bible with that wordage, right? But at the end of the day, you gotta get in these times, right? You have to get to know people. Why? Because our fathers and forefathers, right? They have failed us. They haven't taught us the law, statutes, and commandments. Right. So we can't go to another man whom we've heard things about. And then suddenly, you know, we understand that, hey, he's righteous and we know that he's raising his daughter or his son righteously. And we just give them over into marriage. That's how it worked in the old times. Now, since we have lost our way and lost these law, statutes, and commandments, we have to take that time. Right. We have to be disciplined, not to just jump straight to sex. Right. So that's number one problem with what he's saying, right? But again, for the sake of the class, we see this is literally something that he doesn't like this, right? But let's go.
Still ain't dead now.
Yeah, man.
I hope that's delayed.
One time the dude told me. One time the son said, "You ain't my daddy." Now that's one thing you don't say to a man that ain't your daddy. Don't.
See it right there. Right? Whoa. Right? As a matter of fact, let me hold on. Let me get this definition, right? Because we understand that woe in the Bible means destruction, right? But woe in English, right? It means great sorrow or distress. Right? So he was sorrowful. He was sorrowful, literally, that he put him on his wheel. Right? Because after he did it and all of that, they got into some situation. Of course, the situation wasn't explained, but it doesn't matter. He told the man, "Hey, you ain't my daddy." The child didn't lie, right? It's not a lie. But again, when you're not under the law, statutes, and commandments, you don't really know how to move, right? When you haven't been shown anything, you don't know what to do.
Hey, Salakia, just to add in, man, real quick. Like you said, hey, it's when we go in these situations, especially not knowing how God had instructed to be in the beginning when you were in the world, and we think that because we see, um, you know, right now today's day, even past tense, where we've always been, we call it baby mothers or whatever, and it's hard to find single mothers, I mean, women without a child, and you get into that relationship. And now we understand that it could be a difficult situation, but even at the same time, where um, you have to really, it starts from the mother, and it starts with the male. You have to get to know that person, and you have to see if she's even willing for you to step in to initiate discipline. Because if there's no initiating discipline from the jump, then the relationship is not going to work. And she has to also, like you said, prove it. She has to also prove that, like, hey, what kind of man I'm gonna allow you to discipline my child? And I'm gonna let you go ahead and do it and see how you are. And if I see that you are kind of crazy and everything, and you're taking it too far, and you operating in emotion, then that's not like a good relationship to be in. But if the woman gets in between and saying like, nope, you can't talk to my child, this off limits, that's a dangerous relationship. Because no matter what, as if you're going to take care of that child, you are the father.
Okay.
And if the child saying that you are not you are not my father, the woman should be able to say, "Oh no, you're off. That is your father. That's why I married him, so we can have a relationship, so you can have somebody reliable in the home." But other than that, I land there. I'll let you keep going.
Okay. All right. So let's go.
Remind him that you ain't his daddy. You ain't, you know what I'm saying? Don't remind me that.
I know that, but you ain't got
Right.
like
I done fed you, took you on all these trips, giving you a beautiful life.
Yeah.
I ain't your daddy. I'm put you on my wheel. Bro, when he did that, bro, I ran to my lawyer then to try to get that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I felt like I was finna have a heart attack. Seriously.
And this is why so many men prefer not to even take that role as a step.
All right. So he ain't got to speak, right? For the sake of time, because we guys, y'all see a bunch of videos up here. All right. So again, it's literally it's a hard thing, right? Being and I want to call it so-called, because in the scriptures, you won't see stepfather in the scriptures. Nowhere. Right. And then even thinking about it, right? Who was ever even put in that position inside the scriptures? Right? Literally, Genesis 2. All right, let's get this real quick. Go to the top. Genesis chapter 2. Go to the top of this. Because we gotta understand this. Right? It's something that we know, but it seems to be something that our people don't want to abide by and listen to. All right. So go ahead, verse 24.
All right, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 2, and verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
They should be one flesh, right? We understand that it was never supposed to be no divorce, right? What's supposed to happen? That's the number one thing, right? So if we want to say in today's time, right, stepfather, right, you got a stepfather and your mama or dad is still alive, that's out of order, right? In order to have what we know as a stepfather, that man or woman would have passed away and the kids would be left to one of the parents. That would be the only way that it will be lawful for that to happen. But nowadays, we have stepfathers in the home, stepmothers in the home, and then they also have their parents. So now you raising your child up in confusion. Don't even know it. You think that you're doing good co-parenting, right? And I did that for a reason. You think it's good co-parenting, but it's two separate homes, right? Two separate dynamics, especially coming into the truth. One household is coming into the truth. The next household is not in the truth. So you teaching them about how jacked up Christmas is, and you know what I'm saying, Thanksgiving is wicked, and all of these different holidays is pagan in one household, and then you go to the next household and they celebrate that thing, right? They buying you gifts. They want you to come be with them for the holidays because they know that this other household don't celebrate it. It's a bunch of confusion, right? And we know what the scriptures say about a double-minded man. So at the end of the day, it's confusion. It's a judgment that's been placed on Israel, right? So this is why you have brothers like Deontay Wilder and a bunch of other brothers, right? A bunch of other brothers. We definitely gonna find out who these people are, right? So now let's go. Is this it? Nope. Let's hear what a woman has to say, right? Hear what this sister got to say.
Step parents, period, there's no benefits. How would I benefit from helping him raise his kid? If you marry a man and he has a child, if he's on child support and he falls behind on his payments, they coming after the wife's money. It's a very big risk. It costs hundreds of.
So this is a sister coming from the other side. So if you married and your man do get child support, and this is not in every single state, right? This is not something that always happens. They're probably not going to come after the woman. You know what I'm saying? After your wife, if you're married and you're on child support, they may not come after her unless you probably pass away, or if you some kind of y'all some kind of rich people, right? So we gotta, that's not something that's all the way always there, but let it keep talking.
Thousands of dollars to raise a child. It's expensive. Why would I invest hundreds of thousands of dollars into something that will never be mine? You can't do something as detrimental as having a child out of wedlock. And then after you make that piss poor decision, then now all of a sudden the community got to come and help you. That doesn't make any sense. You got people who have multiple kids out of wedlock. It's not like it was a one-time thing. Now you're putting their piss poor decision, you putting the responsibility on the backs of those who are responsible. That's not fair. Step parents, period. There's no.
That's how she feels about it. Right? This is how she feels that, hey, it ain't fair for you to put that responsibility on me because you chose the wrong woman or you chose the wrong man. Right? It wouldn't be fair. Right? And again, let's see what the scriptures say, right? So let's go back into the scriptures. Let's get Sirach. I want to go to Sirach. Because is it wrong to want to care for a child? Absolutely not. Right? Absolutely not. So just because we playing these videos, I don't want, brothers and sisters to be like, oh, these brothers, they don't like taking care of children, so on and so forth.
Wow. That's definitely not the case because this is an experience that we both, deal with, So this is nothing that we are against. We especially us brothers, me and Brother Debak, we had countless of conversations of how we deal with one another child when we both got older daughters that came in the marriage. So definitely we have the understanding how this goes, but we definitely not at all like, hey, that's all for it. That's wrong. That's just the cards we deal with right now. Because like you said, it's always been together that we all grow as one family. But since we lost God's laws, this is what we deal with. So guess what? Every child need guidance. So right now, in this time, in these situations, we got to be the guidance. And when you get into it, you better know what you're getting yourself into. Sometimes we kind of just go into the phases of, man, my wife is the girl I'm meeting, she beautiful, man, I'll take the kids on and everything. We kind of go into an emotional state in the beginning. But if the woman ain't right, man, that's when it becomes a problem. But if the woman is right, man, she should be able to encourage you and uplift you to go through this because it's definitely a tough job to be a stepfather, or even vice versa, even for a stepmother. So definitely
Con.
understand.
All right, go ahead. It's verse 10, chapter 4, verse 10.
What's the book? Sirach
So,
chapter 4.
Con.
This is the book of Sirach chapter 4 and verse 10. But as a father unto the fatherless, and instead of an husband unto their mother, so shall there be as the Son of the Most High, and he shall love thee more than thy mother doth.
Right, so be a father to the fatherless, right? And what this is also going into, because just because your father is here on earth, right? You can be fatherless to the point because he's not in your home, right? He has another home, and now when you create that union, you know what I'm saying, with another man or woman, right? Now this is your home, this is your establishment, right? And remember when I said confusion comes in because now you do have to have some kind of relationship with this other brother, right? And if he's not level headed, right? If he's not trying to be understanding of how you do things, you know what I'm saying, it's going to cause confusion, it's going to bring chaos into your home. It's just going to happen, right? It's going to be some sense of, hey, I'm entitled, even though I'm not living in that house, I get to make rules in that house. And that couldn't be further from the truth.
God.
Right? That couldn't be further from the truth. You telling me I can't discipline your child, but your child is staying with me. Why can't your child stay with you? And this is where women comes into play. Right? It's a way that you have to be, right? When you come together, especially because we know what times we living in. We understand that we've all done adulterous acts unknowingly. But now that we know, hey, we have to repent and we have to be unified. The first thing that needs to happen is when you come into a union, remember what we just read in Genesis. Man shall leave his mother and father and cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. So they have to be in agreement. That woman has to have that man back in every occasion and vice versa. It can be no dissension between the two. Right? This is how you both teach this child how to have respect and how to be. Because if they know they can play on one parent's conscience, they're going to do it. Right? And it's usually the woman. It's usually the woman. Why? Because she's the weaker vessel. The spirit knows it. Children may not know it outright, but the spirit knows, hey, she's the weaker vessel. So the woman is always going to be the woman trying to get played on. Right? So now let's go. Let's look at another video real quick.
And before you do that, I want to add on to what you were just saying. Let me get 1 Corinthians 11:3 real quick. Because like you said that, when you are in these blended families type things and all that type of situation, man, like again, sometimes these men, they think that they can call a shots and you taking care of that child, and they think they can say whatever they want to say and make you feel like you got to bow down to them. It don't work that way. Men, if you are in that situation, you have to step up and know it don't work that way. Can't no another man should rule your home. It's an order to your household. In your household, you supposed to, if the child's living with you, that means it's a direct order. Even if you got nieces and nephews that come over and visit to stay the night, guess what? It's your rules and regulation. This is your home. You cannot let no one dictate how they gonna move in your home, because like the brother said, if you got a problem like that, then open up the doors and make sure you got room to bring your child in. Because you know what happens? Especially, I'm going to tell you right now, you have to be having good counseling when you're dealing with a brother like that. You need good counseling around you, because if you don't have good counseling around you, man, you're going to put your hands on my man's. And when you put your hands on my man's, guess what? It also affects the child. If it gets back to the child, now you give a reason why the child don't even want to deal with you no more. And honestly, I'm speaking of experience. I'm speaking of experience. If it wasn't for wise counseling from brothers that's telling me what I should do, then man, I've probably been locked up or been sued. Simple as that. Because I understand that. But understand you gotta not be too emotional. That's why the scriptures is here. Let me get that real quick.
Come. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11, and verse number 3.
Uh-huh.
It says, "But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ,
Uh-huh.
and the head of the woman is the man,
Mm-hmm.
and the head of Christ is God."
It's an order. So the order still stands. I don't care if it's out of, we call it wedlock, right? I don't care if we coming out of the world and then we come in as truth, then we come into a situation that the mother has a child or the father has a child that's married in. It's an order still. The child still has to be at least, if she's not, or he or she is not comfortable, ready to accept the stepfather, then guess what? She needs to go to her mother, and her mother needs to train her properly and say, this is the way it is right now. And the mother has to learn how to keep the distance if it's not an accurate way from the stepfather. Especially if you're in the truth and the stepfather's not in the truth, like the brother said, you're teaching them not to do these things. And he was like, it ain't nothing wrong with that. And then everybody jumping on you like you're trying to take the child away from the father. So it has to be an understanding. Both parents got to work together. It's not one got to think this way and another think that way. You have to work together because that's the only way it's going to work. If one thinking and starting agreeing with the child, if the child is off and you start agreeing because you upset with your husband, then that's when you got a broken home. Because the man, I'll be honest, to be a stepfather, it's a thankless situation. Because you're not going to get all the praises. You're not going to get all the good thanks a lot of times. When you got another father that wants to be so-called a daddy of the year, but don't want to be a true daddy of the year. You're a thankless man, and you got to understand, you got to suck that up sometimes, and that hurts. And that hurts sometimes. I'll land there. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, right. And just to piggyback off this scripture, I'm going to read the first beginning. "But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ." It don't say that the head of every man is another man, right? The head of every man is Christ. So ain't no allowing that into your household, right? So I found this little article looking up stuff, right? And this is on a website called Focus on the Family, right? And it's between this question was asked, how do I mediate problems between my son and his stepfather? Right? So I'm gonna just read it. Right? It says, what you are describing is fairly common in step families. Conflict will often erupt between a child and a step parent when the child enters adolescence. Right? So when a child is old enough to start somewhat thinking for themselves, that's when some problems can occur, right? It's normal for kids to start asserting more independence when they reach the teen years, right? That's when they start, as every parent say, you starting to smell yourself, right? You in high school, you starting to smell yourself now. You think you know something, right? It says, this in turn can sometimes bring on a period of rebellion due to divided loyalties and confused roles, right? Confused roles. Who's telling who's who? What's what? I'm in a house and it's another man with my mama, right? And I still know who my daddy is, right? Who am I? Should I listen to this man that's in this house, or should I listen to only what my daddy tell me? Right? This is where rebellion starts to happen. Right? It says the process is much more complicated in step families. Right? So this is advice. It says perhaps the first thing you need to realize is that it's a mistake to think in terms of choosing between your husband and your son. Right? So he's letting the woman know, like, hey, you don't have to choose between your husband and your son. The reason being, and I'm not saying they're saying this is what I'm saying. The reason being, you shouldn't have to choose between your husband and your son because it's automatically be your husband.
Okay.
Automatically. Your husband, if he's righteous, he's not going to necessarily make you choose.
Okay.
As long as he knows, hey, you got his back, hey, you know what it is. And again, we're talking about righteous men versus wicked men. Because we know it's some wicked brothers out here that's step parents that take advantage of their stepchildren, boys and girls, right? We know it's people in so-called step parents in jail for taking advantage. We're not talking about that, right? We're talking about the ones that want to discipline their children, and they can't because the child is being rebellious, and then you also have another man that's in the midst, or you have a wicked wife that is not even trying to do what they just want to pick their child and everything, right? So it's a mistake choosing between your husband and your son rather than framing this as an either or situation. We suggest you approach it as a both and don't take sides. Instead, try to rise above the conflict and help each party see things from others' perspective, right? Because again, just because we're adults don't mean we always right, right? So we have to also understand the child even in those moments. Now, does the child get their way because we're trying to understand them? Absolutely not. Right? Absolutely not. They don't get their way because you're trying to understand them. But we have to know that they're children and they're confused, right? As it's stated in the first paragraph. They confused. They don't know, should I listen to this man or should I not? Right? Now, it's not to say that they don't know right from wrong, because they do. You know what I'm saying? They definitely know right from wrong. But hey, you talking about my dad? This is my daddy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, my dad, that's my hero.
Okay.
You trying to tell me I can't listen to what he say? You know what I'm saying? And I'm even though I'm here, I can't listen to what my daddy's saying. Not if it's going against what the man of the house is saying.
Okay.
Right? It says, meanwhile, there's another important principle to keep in mind. In every step family situation, the husband and wife need to make their marriage a priority.
Okay.
Right? If you allow
real quick, and that's true because hey, you guys, all you have is husband and wife. When they get older, man, hey, when it's time for them to go to school or they want to get their own place, hey, you better make sure you got a good relationship with your husband and wife, because the kids is gonna be the first one to divorce you.
Okay.
Right, what I'm saying? He's like, hey, I'm about to move on with my life. And if you ain't got a relationship with your wife or your husband, man, then your relationship is gonna be off too. So it sounds like that may fall into a divorce. So you definitely want to make sure your marriage is priority, that y'all work together as a team.
Okay. And for the children that hear this, right? For the children that's hear this, that's old enough, teenagers to adults, right? Don't make your parents have to do that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Don't make your parents have to, choose or show you that they're backing up their spouse, right? Because let's just say, for instance, that your mother takes the side of you, right? Your mother takes the side of you. Now, y'all end up, let's just say divorcing. Let's just go to the worst case scenario. They end up divorcing. You happy that your mama done got divorced, but now you older and your mama on your coattail. You can go out and you meet somebody, another man, or if you are a young woman, you meet another man and your mama riding your coattail, all up in your business, and vice versa. If you're a man and you meet a young lady, she all in your business, and she don't necessarily, she doing the same reciprocation behavior that you showed them, right? Because you chose to be rebellious and not necessarily cause your parents to break up, but be a major pawn in the reason why this man left. So now your parents is all up in your business and they ain't got nobody for themselves because they chose you.
Okay.
So these are consequences, even as a child, you can actually take and know that, hey, maybe I should just let that be. You know what I'm saying? I should just, take my punishment or whatever it is, take the correction, and I should move on. Right? I'm speaking to the children on that, right? So let's keep going, right? So it says, I was in it right here, right? So it says the husband and wife. Yeah, the husband. Huh?
You was at if you allowing parenting conflicts, you stop that priority.
Right? So I'm gonna pick it up right here at the husband and wife again. So it says the husband and wife need to make their marriage a priority. If you allow parenting conflicts to pull you apart, it won't just hurt your relationship with one another. It's also the worst thing you can do for your kids because they're going to continue to pit you against one another. Right? So it says, so make up your minds as parents to act as a unified team. Sit down with your son and let him know exactly what you expect of him. Right? That's what you do. And this is going to the mothers. Hey, you sit down with them. And then after you sit down with them, hey, your husband, come along, right? Or if you, hey, a righteous woman, you could just let your husband do all the work. Because a man is supposed to lead anyway, right? But every situation is different. Sometimes we'd have to allow the mother to go in and kind of set the tone, and then you come in behind. It's okay, right? So it says, discuss the rules he'll be expected to follow and agree on the consequences he'll face if he breaks those rules. Right? So husband and wife, pay attention to this. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no, well, nah, we just not going to do it this time. We're going to let him go with a warning. Nah, no. If we sat there and we talked about it, if they keep on acting this way, this is what's going to happen. This is the punishment. Ain't no letting up on this punishment. Right? It says, remember, too, that as the biological parent, you should be taking the lead when it comes to discipline. Just depends on the scenario, right? You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say that all the time, but depends on the scenario, right? And I'm gonna get to a video in a second, right? So it says, if you're always assuming the role of good cop, you're forcing your husband to play the bad cop. You know what I'm saying? So it's literally, if you always trying to let them off, you know, and not necessarily punish him, and your husband like, nah, man, we can't have that. Because now the child, you may have another child coming up after them, right? They could be the oldest, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's by a year or however many years, right? You're playing good cop to this one. And then your husband got to come in and say, nah, because this is the example that you're allowing them to show the other kids. And then they're going to grow up and think that they can do the same thing. Right? And now you force their husband to literally say, nah, hey, these kids came from me. This ain't going like that. You know what I'm saying? And it makes the whole situation look crazy. It makes the situation look like the man doesn't care about, you know, the child that came from the woman before him. It makes it look like that, but that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? It's not the case. And by the way that this world is jacked up, right? Of course they're gonna literally side. They always side with the woman. You know what I'm saying? If it comes to a part where the law has to get involved, right? It said the end of it says that arrangement is sure to drive a permanent wedge between him and your son. Right? It's gonna be a permanent wedge there if he always have to come in and say no, 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 no. So you say no. You do exactly what your husband would do because you're supposed to be one flesh. You're supposed to be a reflection of your husband. So you play the role of the bad cop. Right? So let's see. Where is this video? Right here. Right? So good old Steve Harvey. Right? This is on his little show, and the question was asked between him. It's a panel full of females, right? Who's responsible for establishing a relationship between the parent and their stepchild, right? So let's see what the sisters had to say. Let me blow the screen up first.
Gabrielle Union and Jada Pinkett Smith both married into relationships where their partners were already fathers. Do you think it's important to have a relationship with the child's mother?
Absolutely. For sure. I don't think you should be BFFs and force it. You should absolutely be cordial. I think you should make sure you stand your ground. You don't come in and all of a sudden now try to
So I just want to note that this is the other perspective, right? This is if the woman is the stepmother, right? And the same rules could apply, right? But I just wanted to make that clear.
teach all the things that their that they've learned as children from their mother, but you absolutely should be cordial for the kids' sake. For
I've been in
the
this
relationship.
situation. I've been in this situation. My thing is this, there has to be mutual respect.
Right. Yeah.
Like ultimately, you want to be able to have a great relationship, but I also feel that the man has to set the tone for that.
Absolutely.
We're women.
I feel he
first.
does.
Yeah, we have to be respectful of that. But
I
I
think the man should set
I
the
think
tone.
I feel that the man sets the tone for the mutual respect piece. You don't think so? Why not?
Look. This is what you would call a weak man, right?
God.
That's weak.
God.
Because the man should definitely set the tone.
God.
At the end of the day, and this is on either end, whether he's the stepfather or whether he's the regular father, he needs to set the tone. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't met this young man's or young lady's father as a man, that's one of the first things that you need to do, especially once y'all getting serious and you literally, gonna be married and gonna be together and commit to one another. He needs to meet that man.
Okay.
Or if you are a man and you're bringing a woman into the situation, you need to set that meet between the two women.
Okay.
Their mother and your soon-to-be wife or wife.
Okay.
You have to set the tone regardless. You have to, if you're the man letting another man know, you got to set the tone, letting them know, hey, this is my home. This is what's happening. Right? You got to do it.
I'm interested. Let me hear this.
Man don't set no damn tone. You women are in charge of this whole thing. I don't know why y'all sitting up here trying to give us some power now. We don't never get none at the house. Oh, no.
You are the common ground as the man.
Denominator.
You're the
Absolutely.
common denominator.
And here's the thing: if you're the woman in the situation that's the newcomer, you are feeling out and learning the dynamic between two parents.
Yes.
So you're not the child's mother. So there is a little bit of apprehension from that, or at least there should be, from that woman to kind of take her cues from the father of the child and take
But
some of
listen
those
to
things
this,
from
though.
that.
Who do you think uses the child as a pawn more often? Is it the women or the men?
I'm gonna honestly,
It don't even matter.
you say the women.
It don't.
It don't even matter. Again, if you're the provider and supposed to be the provider, you're not just supposed to provide money. You're supposed to provide rules of the house.
Okay.
And rules of the foundation of how y'all gonna relate. How can the child respect you if you allow the mother to do everything and you're supposed to be the man, and then you want him or her to be like, that's my stepdad or that's my dad or whatever, and have respect for you, and you don't show the first beginning of steps that you're going to be the man to meet the other man face to face. That shows a lot to a child to say, I know what kind of man I'm dealing with. If you're showing that I'm not afraid of the child's father, and you're taking that time and trying to create peace, and you're trying to tell them exactly and introduce who you are, that shows a lot. It starts with the man. Ain't no woman should be creating these situations, because if you do that, it can be, you don't know what the situation with the biological father is with the mother. You need to find out what their relationship is like. You need to see how he is with the child, and you need to see what's like, again, they're dynamic, and you got to see how will it fit the equation of that child staying with me and how you feel about that. It's always going to start with the man.
Okay. And then that was just a diversion question, right? Because he knew he was being weak in that moment, right? But we're gonna let him. It's probably that answer is like a minute long, and then they get back on topic, right? So let's go.
And the reason why, and we have to acknowledge this: when two people have a child, the person whose life, for the most part, physical life, emotional, mental life, is affected the most is the woman.
Yes.
The man's life keeps going. The men can get up and do whatever they want to do. They can participate. They can decide to dip. They have more. They have the option. Women don't get to do that. I mean, that's
all BS. That's smoke and mirrors right there. Because it's both parents are responsible, right? But in society that we live in today, this is the mindset of our people. They think only the woman is obligated. No, absolutely not, because the woman can't have children without the man.
Soul tie. When you have a child with someone, that is the most strong bond you can have with another person. So,
And that's why I feel like because of that soul tie, you can't say that it's always women who use them as a pawn.
Not always.
Because that's a really tough thing to say to someone, and as a mother.
but for the
I
sake
don't
of a
think everyone
relationship,
does.
sometimes, and this is where the importance of the father's relationship comes into play. If there is a stepmother, he has to establish what the relationships are
And
with
make it very
and make
clear.
it very clear. This is the woman that I'm going to be with, and this is the woman that has my child, and there's a mutual level of
I
respect.
do agree with you in that a man has to try to mediate this situation best he can.
Yes.
Look,
But
double-minded, because he just said he clearly just said that no, I don't agree with that, and now you agree with that the man got to mediate. Make up your mind, brother.
it has to be three people, like you were saying, that are just being very adult about it. And it only takes one of them to not want to be an adult to ruin it for everybody.
Right.
Because it's got to be three people working to make this work and put the children first.
Yes.
It's hard to find that.
You have
All right, so let's stop. Let's let them go. Now let's listen to a brother, right? Find this other video, right? Let's listen to this brother, right? He literally, let me get this off the screen. He literally, right? See this, what it says. It says it's a man's responsibility to teach a woman, right? Then it continues to say, but the problem is they don't want to learn from you. Right, so let's see. Because it's definitely a man's responsibility, not only to teach the woman, but the children as well. But let's listen to what this brother got to say.
I learn from you. Like that's
the problem
crazy.
right there.
That's
But
crazy.
that's the problem with men. When a man love that woman that much, he's gonna try everything he can to
That's
teach
like
her.
trying to teach me how to put an alternator in. I'm not about to stand there and listen. I'm not putting in no alternator. And you can't teach me how to be a woman because you're not a woman.
See that? So this is his daughter, right? He was talking to his daughter. And what she said was true. You can't necessarily teach me how to be a woman, right? Not down to the T. Of course, this is why you need the mom or wife in the play, right? But he's just letting it be known at the end of the day, it's a responsibility of the man to make sure that this happens and takes place. Because let's just say, what if the mother ain't teaching you nothing? Does that mean the man don't know? Absolutely not. That don't mean that. But let's keep going.
You're a man, so you have to talk to men.
Where does the woman come from? Where?
The man. God pulled the woman out of the man.
Then, and what did God say to the woman when he created her?
Where did you come from?
No, where did God create the woman?
You came from your
Let
mom.
me finish this. What did God say to the woman when he
Nothing.
created
We
her?
said nothing.
Nothing. Right? He ain't say nothing to Eve. He said it to Adam. Right? All praises.
Nothing. So how did she learn anything?
I'm talking about right now, Dad.
But you're saying that what you're saying doesn't make sense
It do
because
make
it is the
sense. That's why
man's
you get
responsibility to teach.
You get
It's
hyped 'cause it
our
do make sense.
responsibility to teach.
I am my father's daughter.
It is a man's
I was the baby
responsibility
down,
to
honey.
teach the women.
It's not your responsibility.
It is. That's why when you read the
that's why
Bible,
you get so upset because we're not listening because y'all have not been in your
That's
role
my point.
because you are not being leaders. So you can't teach nobody nothing if you arguing with. My teacher is not arguing with me about nothing. My teacher know what they talking about. If I say it's different, then
See that? Right? And when you say the teacher, you saying the white man. Right? At the end of the day, because that's who's in charge of whatever curriculum you got, right? You're saying literally, hey, my teacher don't argue with me. They just let's I'm gonna let it finish and see what she say. Watch this.
they're not arguing with me. E, F for you. You feel? I'm not arguing with you. I know what I'm talking about. I'm up here. It's different. They're not arguing with me. E, F for you. You feel? I'm not arguing.
They giving you an E or F. You fail. I ain't arguing with you. Right? I went to school, got a degree. I ain't arguing with you. Right? And let's see her father's response.
With you. I know what I'm talking about. I'm up here. You're down here.
Go ahead. So that's what we men got to do. We got to fail them. We
I
can't
shouldn't
teach you,
be
just
teaching
fail
men
them.
how to be.
That's what we need to do. We need to stop teaching them If they don't want to listen, don't teach them. Fail them. You know what I mean? Fail them. Just leave. Because if they don't realize that we are innate teachers, and we're going to teach no matter what.
Emotional intelligence that you're telling them.
That's not emotional. Because your teacher will fail you. Father. Your teacher will fail you if you don't listen, right?
Yes.
So is that emotional?
No, that's not emotional. But
What's the difference is?
I'm saying that like when you start, if you're a teacher and a student comes to you and says, I think this is right because this is and that, and they have an argument for why they think it is right, it's not your place to argue if you already know the steps you took to get to the right answer.
That's the point I'm making.
What I'm saying is domestic violence is because of that. It's because you think that you're supposed to force feed somebody to answer when yes, get in your car and leave.
I just told him to just leave.
Or go to the boxing gym and box with a man. Leave. Don't be fighting with your
I just told him to just leave.
That's
emotional what? Emotional, low emotional intelligence or something. I don't know. But that's nothing.
You will get a different respect from your woman when you just walk away.
But if the woman would just realize that the man is there to teach her, if she could just realize that and stop the other mess, and I know why it's that way. I know why you can't teach y'all no more.
All right. So we finna find out what this brother's finna say, right? I don't know if anybody can guess what he's finna say, right? If you can, just put it in the comments, right? Because as we can see, as his daughter, she's not listening. Do we hear anything from his wife? We don't hear nothing outside of when he addresses her. She ain't saying nothing. She's quiet, right? She's understanding what her husband is trying to teach their daughter, and the daughter ain't trying to hear it. She's going all listen to everywhere. This is where domestic violence start. This is what, no. He's literally letting her know, hey, it's my responsibility to teach you X, Y, and Z. Right? Now, are we talking about, hey, I need to teach you how to put this pad on when your cycle comes, things of that nature? If we got to do it, then we would, right? But again, this is where that unification comes in. The woman knows what she's supposed to teach her daughter, and the man also knows what he's supposed to teach his daughter. But yet and still, this young lady wants to go back and forth saying that, hey, I ain't listening. Right? So he finna let it be known. Right? Let me rewind just a tad.
Just realize that and stop the other mess. And I know why it's that way. I know why you can't teach y'all no more. Because there's too many men inside of you. We can't get to that.
Look at that. Too many men inside of you. Now we can't get to your mental process. Right? And it's definitely something that's 100% true. Right? You have sex with a woman. It's a spiritual thing. People only want to satisfy the flesh, not realizing that every single person that you lay with, it's a spirit that leaves with you, right? And especially if this woman or man ain't your spouse, and you're not trying to marry them and do all of the things according to what marriage is supposed to be, you shouldn't be laying with them. This is why the Most High God literally laid out the law for us, that if a man entices a maid, right, and he lied with her, he must surely endow her to be his wife. He got to take care of that woman. He didn't want no whores of the daughters of Zion at the end of the day. So what the brother is saying is 100% correct. Let's rewind it just a little so we can hear that again.
I know why you can't teach y'all no more. Because there's too many men inside of you. We can't get to that.
You're going to something else.
But that's what it is, though.
Talk, man.
Huh?
That's crazy talk. Dad, don't talk about women like that. That's terrible. To learn something that they don't.
Now it's bad. Now he can't talk like that. Right? Now he can't talk like that. So let's go back to the scriptures real quick. And let me grab the book of Esther, because we're going to see, right? Because I remember I asked the question earlier, like any, what we would call stepfathers in the Bible, I don't see none, right? The closest thing that we see to a stepmother is probably Sarah with Hagar's son, right? And we see what happened to Ishmael. He got put up out of there. Most I wasn't dealing with that. You know what I'm saying? Or we see Abraham's other wife, Keturah, right? Once Sarah died, he got married, had Keturah. And do we see anything, any arguments in between those children? Absolutely not. But in Esther, we literally see, right, her cousin. This is her cousin that literally raised her, right? That raised Esther up. Right. So let's start Esther chapter 2 and verse 5.
All right. It's the book of Esther, chapter 2 and verse 5. Now in Shushan the palace, there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shimei, the son of Kish, a Benjamite, who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captivity which had been carried away from Jeconiah, I can never say his name, Jeconiah, king of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away. And he brought up Hadassah, that is, Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother, and the maid was fair and beautiful, whom Mordecai, when her father and mother were dead, took for his own daughter.
Took for his own daughter, right? Jump down to verse 15. Let's read it one more time.
Verse 15. Now, when the turn of Esther, the daughter of Abihail, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her for his daughter, was come to go in unto the king, she required nothing but with Haggai, the king's chamberlain, the keeper of the woman, appointed. And Esther obtained favor in the sight of all them that looked upon her.
Right, so we see Mordecai keeping the commandment that was gave. Right, we read it in the book of Sirach. Now let's read it in the book of Exodus. Right, let's read it in the book of Exodus. Let's see, because this is what it looks like when somebody is literally keeping commandments. Right, you're literally keeping commandments, and you're doing exactly what the law tells you to do. Right, and you have a young woman, right, that helps deliver the children of Israel out of a captivity. Right, so Exodus 22 and verse 22.
22.
Right? Okay.
All right, just the book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 22. Ye shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child.
Right, Esther was a fatherless child. Her cousin, right, doesn't give their age, so to speak. Right, we'll see, save that for the scholars to see how old they was. But apparently Mordecai was older than her. Right, he took her and raised her as his daughter, even though this is his cousin. Right, he's been a father to a fatherless child. Right, he's keeping the law. Right, read.
If thou afflict them in any wise, and they cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry.
Right, so if you making things hard on these fatherless children, he's going to hear your cry. So you women that literally make things hard, whether it be with your own child or vice or not, right? And you making things hard for this man to literally be a father to your child, and this child cry unto you, hey, the Most High hears that, right? And let's see what he's going to do. Verse 24.
And my wrath shall wax hot, and I will kill you with the sword.
He's going to do what?
I will kill you with the sword.
Read that one more time.
I will kill you with the sword.
That's your judgment when you're not right inside your household. That's your judgment. Go ahead.
And your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless.
And Salakia, that's on the other end. That's for the brother. Sorry, Salakia. Right? So for the brother that's not taking care of the children, right? And these children is crying out unto the Most High. He's going to kill you, and your wife is going to become a widow, and your children is going to be fatherless. And he's going to send another man to raise them up in the right way. Right? So,
hey, go ahead.
No, I was just, go ahead. You good.
I was going to say, it even goes into a point where, hey, if the children is crying out and you got to, let's say you are with the wicked man. You with a wicked man and he's telling you like, hey, since this is not my child. I want you to do what I, do everything on the side of what me and you brought to the table. So let's just say that you coming into a relationship and you start having children with the woman that you married, and y'all become a blended family. And then since this is happening, now you want the mother to overlook and bypass the child that was there before and be like, hey, focus on our children. Don't worry about her or him. Let's focus on us. We are family, not her. That right there, what the Most High says, right there, if thou afflict them in any wise and they cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry and my wrath shall wax high. The Most High gonna kill both of the household.
Okay.
Because the whole thing is what the Bible says. Let me get one scripture real quick, bro, before you bring it out. Right. Let me I want to make sure I'm man. It's Deuteronomy 10, and I think it's 15 or 17, right? Because it's the law of that. Like when you a stepdad or a stepmom, hey, you have to, especially a man, we got to pick on the man, right? Because this is normal a lot of times with men getting into. The man has to not have favoritism when it comes to this. You can't show favoritism. It has to be an equal balance. 10 and 17. Yeah, that's it. That's it. 17.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10, verse 17. For the Lord your God is God of gods and Lord of lords, a great God, a mighty and a terrible, which regardeth not persons nor taketh reward.
So you can't show favoritism. If the Most High is like that, that means as a father, you can't be regarding a person, right? You have, being a stepdad, like, and I'll say from my experience, before I got my children through my wife and my oldest daughter was around, I even at the time, and I'll be honest, we didn't have a good brick in the road walk, in the beginning. It didn't come out that way. You know what I'm saying? It was a wrestle and a wrestle. But what I had an opportunity to tell her was, hey, in order for me to be a father, I had to learn from you. You're the first example of me learning how to be a father because I don't have children. So now since I'm starting to have children, I want to thank you for showing me and helping me prepare for the ones that's to come. And you always had to, for myself, I always showed, and again, it's a little unbalanced, I shall say, that I've done in a way. Well, because I would show more favor in a way to her because I knew her situation, whether she understood that or not. But when you have
foundation, that's my blood running.
when you have an unbalanced situation, you know what I'm saying? It's like, because when you see that the person is not around that's supposed to really do his fatherly duty, you step in to show like, hey, I'm gonna be the one that's gonna step in and I'm gonna be I want that recognition as the father. Like we take pride in that. As men, we take pride in that. And when sometimes it don't get receptive that way, that breaks a man. That breaks a man. Hey, men can go through depression. Men can be like, yo, I'm done with this relationship, all that, etc. Because if you don't have good quality conversations with the mother and the child, man, I'm telling you, you can break a man. That's one of the things that by my experience, that you can be broken. But if you hold on and you be patient and you create a balance, I'm gonna tell you right now, the Most High will see it through, especially when you're in His truth. So again, this is a situation I used to have with my oldest daughter. I no longer have that. We have a really good relationship and a better understanding. So all praise to the Most High. But I am definitely speaking from experience what I was walking in before. I land there.
Okay. All right. So I'm pulling up this video, right? Because it's a question, right? And this is a question that I put to go along with this video, right? Should a child should be required to call their step parents, dad or father, right? And absolutely, I would say no, right? Shouldn't be a requirement, right? Especially when that person's father is still there and active and things of that nature, right? Especially, right? It shouldn't be a requirement. You should leave that up to the child if they want to express that, right? But I pulled up this video to show you what brothers had to say about that, right? So I'm gonna go down and go.
Like a man.
I laid that foundation. That's my blood running through my daughter's veins. You can give him a nickname, but dad, father, daddy, no.
That kid is living in that man's household if he's a stand-up father, eating that man's food, be underneath that man's lights, and he's helping doing everything a father should do. Help him with his homework. He takes him to school, pick him up from school, takes him to football activities because you're not probably not going to be able to be there all the time,
right?
But he's doing those things that step in and do that. Right. So I think he deserves the right to be able to be called dad.
Absolutely not. I disagree. As an active father, right? If that was ever my situation, no, I would not want my kids doing it, right? And I don't think any man would. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? If you're righteous, your kids shouldn't even have to be faced with that decision. We shouldn't even put kids in that place. We shouldn't even put women in that place to decide whether or not you're going to call another man daddy, right? Why? Because at the end of the day, if we knew what it is we were supposed to be doing, we wouldn't even be doing this class right now, right? But the fact that we know that there's situations out here and we have to do these things. We have to talk about these things and touch on these things to let people know, what's okay, what's not, to give different tips and solutions, right? We should let that be up to the child.
Hey, I can say I didn't do it like that, and a lot of that, I learned later on, like what you're saying, you should let that child make that decision. And myself personally, I didn't start off like that. It was more like what the brother was saying just got done. Like, hey, that's how I looked at it. Like, hey, I provide, you got to do it like this. Hey, yep, when I got these other kids coming around, I want you to be calling me as dad so it don't create a confusion. And I didn't want them to say, oh, you got another dad over here. So what is that? So I did it for that purpose, but I understood, and the man wasn't around anyway. So I say a lot of times, if the man is not around, me personally, I don't think it's nothing wrong, but understand if the father is around and he's active, then yeah, I do believe that he should have that title to keep, and you let that child make that decision. So me personally, by me doing it, I have a better understanding. You let that child have a decision to make, not have to force it to say. So I learned that too in my path.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna let this finish.
If your kid wants to call this man pops or father or dad,
it's called stepfather and stepdad.
You inherited my kid who's under my structure that I created, that I'm the foundation of. It's prestige behind that title, and you not sharing that title. I'm not sharing that title with no other just because he just came in the picture and he's a great guy. That's nice. Mr. Steve, I appreciate everything you're doing. But dad, father, we gonna have a problem. I laid that foundation. That's my blood.
All right, so I would agree as far as, for me, I'm on the side of, if another man gave you life, at the end of the day, that's still your father. You still have, because at the end of the day, the law says what it says, right? It literally says, honor thy father and thy mother. It don't say anything about, step this or step that, right? So you honor them by being righteous unto who? The Most High.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. You be righteous unto the Most High. That's how you honor your father, right?
And then you also have to put it in perspective that you have to make sure that, hey, you do got to respect your father. You know what I'm saying? As a stepfather, you do have to put it out there, because you got some stepfathers to be like, nah, don't listen to what he say, he crazy, and get emotional. Like, nah, you have to tell that child, like, hey, that's your daddy. If he says this is what he needs to be done, that's what you got to do. So even if I'm teaching you commandments and laws here, and he decides to say, we're going to do something different at your house, I can't control that, because that's his household. But here, it's the same thing. You can't do what he says here, what you do over there, but at the end of the day, respect your father, because it can get real sticky, because the father can be like, yo, I'm your dad, and you listen to me, even though you over there. And that's where you got to move the child aside, and you got to deal with that man. Like you don't run nothing over here. Just like we brought out 1 Corinthians 11:3. It's my house. I'm the head of the home, so this is how we're gonna rule it. But you definitely want to make sure that the child is still operating in the word I'm trying to use listening to the child's father also. You know what I'm saying? To be obedient. You know what I'm saying? You got to create that.
Okay. All right. So I found this little AI created video, right? I just want to play it because this is for the bum guys, right? Because they're there at the end of the day. They're there. So let's listen to what these AI babies got to say, right? Let's listen to it.
Ate the last pack of fruit snacks like it was his name on the box. Disrespectful. He told me he's the man of the house. Sir, you don't even got Wi-Fi password privileges. He tried to play me one-on-one, scored on his old knees twice, and he quit.
Stepdad?
More like step aside. He made me a sandwich. No cut corners, no triangles. Just vibes of laziness. He took the good spot on the couch. Like, bruh, that's my assigned seat since birth. He told me to clean my plate. I told him, clean your resume. Then we'll talk.
Brother ain't got no job. All right? He said, hey, brother ain't got no job. What you talking about? All right?
He think he can tell you bedtime? Nah.
Nah. You ain't judge, jury, and daddy. He tried to ground me, bro. You not even verified in this house yet. He tried to push.
All right, that's enough of that, right? Let's get back to it, right? More serious conversations. All right, so let's go with this one.
Are you a step? Was you ever a stepfather?
No. Was I ever a stepfather? No. I was never a stepfather. See, I look at it differently because to me, you know, stepfather is basically stepping into a role or stepping into a space where there should be something.
Right? Exactly what Mordecai did. Right? It's not necessarily have to be that you married to a woman and bringing in children, or vice versa. You married a person bringing into children, right? The definition that he's going to explain is slightly different, and it's what the law explains, right? Be a father to the fatherless, right? Let's go.
And that also comes in different forms. Like uncles can be pseudo stepfathers, grandfathers can be pseudo stepfathers. You know what I'm saying? Coaches can be pseudo stepfathers. So when I think of stepfather, to me, it's more of a duty. You know what I'm saying? And I don't necessarily think you're a simp for stepping up to that.
Right. So you're not a simp, right, brother? Because you have. It is. I'm not even sure if I got those videos in here, but it is brothers literally saying, "Hey, it's crazy to become a stepfather. You shouldn't do it, so on and so forth." Right? Because like my guy said earlier, right? It is a thankless job, right? And I definitely got a video with our good old late buddy Kevin Samuels speaking on it, right? It is a thankless job, but when it's done right, right? When it's done right, because the scriptures say train up a child while they're young, right? So they don't depart from the Lord when they get older. When that child gets older, they're going to realize, dang, hey, he did this, he did that, right? He didn't have to. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to, but hey, I appreciate that now. Now I understand why he said this to me or why he treated me this way. Now I understand that. That's what happens as a child gets, as long as that child is taught the right way and doesn't decide, even when they become a young adult, they don't decide to be still rebellious. If they literally learn, they're going to come back and say, hey, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? And even if they never come back and say it, it just shows in your relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that is like the greatest feeling and the greatest thing you can hear when your child do say that. And it's like, man, that is like the most touching thing, because that's what a lot of stepfathers look for. We hope that we are leaving an imprint in their minds. That is like the best feeling, but you know, that stuff takes patience and time. So praise to the Most High for that.
Okay. All right, so let's keep going.
With that being said, I definitely see a window where there's a area for simpage. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, real talk. There's an area for simpage where
is that a word?
It is now. It is now. Where
cups up. Oh my phone.
Put them up.
I gotta refill.
Dollar on his job tonight.
Hey,
boy.
dollar killing.
Well, yeah, there's definitely an area where guys who are trying to get in good with the mom, you know, end up overcompensating. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be more than they're prepared to be.
Right, and this is where that confusion gets created, because now this person comes in, you're trying to spend money that you ain't got, right? You're trying to take care of the child, saying you'll do this, that, and the third. But the moment that child shows a little rebellion, now it's a problem for you, right? Now you don't want to be there no more. Now you don't want to take care of them no more. Right?
That's the emotional love, man.
For real. It definitely is. 100%. Right? And these are the simps that this brother is talking about. Right? Let me grab a scripture real quick, because at the end of the day, we're going to let the scripture speak, right? So let's go to the book of Luke, right? It's definitely one of the classics. Luke 14, verse 28, right? Definitely one of the classics. Because at the end of the day, this is what a man should be doing. All right, so read that, verse 28.
All right. This is the book of Luke, chapter 14, and verse 28. For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first, and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it?
Right, so which of you, let's change this around just a tad bit, right? Which of you intending to have a family, right? And you meeting a woman that has children, right? You don't sit down and you don't count the cost. Count the literal possibilities of this can come up, that can come up, right? This child could be rebellious. What do I do then? Right? What do I do? Do I sit there and let another man come into my home and just deal with his child, and I don't say nothing, I just deal with mine? No. That's confusion. And that stuff needs to be eliminated. Right? I'm one that literally grew up, you know, having a stepfather, stepmother, right? And hey, I love my moms, but it was always my moms and my stepmoms that was into it. It was never my father or my stepfather, ever. Right? It was never. So what do you think I did as a young child? I didn't watch what the women did. I watched what my dad did. I watched what my stepdad did. Right? And the times where it, you know, before my stepdad came into the picture, it was other guys. These guys, I'm like, I'm talking back to these guys. You know, well, I ain't gonna say guys, this particular guy. I'm talking back. I ain't listening to him. You telling me come. No, I'm not coming in the house. Leave me alone. Right? You telling me, hey, it's kind of cold out here. Put on your jacket. I just got done hooping. I'm not putting on no. I'm not doing nothing. Right? Because you don't do nothing.
I see you doing it, Doc.
You sitting here, you're not working like when I played the children, right? Hey, who you telling to do something when you don't do nothing around here?
I see you doing it.
but for real, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we gotta, you know, brothers, before you getting into any situation, hey, count that cost, man. Count that cost. Are you able to deal with the moments to where you feeling like nothing, right? Because you feel like you do everything for this child and this child don't appreciate it? Brother, that's just a child, right? It's just the child. The child don't know no better. Does it make you feel a way? Sure enough. But you don't let that stop you from raising that child. Right? But again, you got to count that cost. If you're not willing to take that heartache, right? And sometimes even the heartbreak, hey, don't be no what we would call a stepfather today. Because if you can't be a stepfather, how in the hell can you even be a real father?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? How can you have your own? You can't take care of you know, because again, especially if you got younger, if you got some nieces and some nephews, right? If you can't help raise them, you know what I'm saying? How can you do it with your own?
God. Hey man, my bad. Let me get another script, dog. Let me get Ephesians 6:4 real quick. Right? Because you're right, man. Like, how can you just be here and just quit and give up? Right? You know what I'm saying? Again, like we brought out in Exodus 22 and 22, right? It says the same thing, right? That we supposed to be there for the fatherless, right? Especially in this days of time, right? These are fatherless child when the man is not at a home. You know, if the man is, because the man is supposed to have the child in the home. If he's going to act like the father and pretend to be a father and do right by a father, you know what I'm saying? Hey, that's what he's going to do. But we know circumstances where it can happen, where relationships and mistakes that we made as we young become divided. That happens because we didn't know God's commandments and laws. But since we know better, right? This is what we got to do, right? Read verse 4.
It's the book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 4. And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord.
Right. So you got to make sure you bring them up with discipline, and you got to show the fullness of trust that the child can trust you to really lead this household. That's another job that a man has to do. As a stepfather, you have to put trust in the child and trust in the mother at the same time by you leading in correct order, right? Because when you don't, guess what? That brings that child to wrath.
Okay.
You know, and sometimes, you know, you have to have a sit down conversation with that child, because a lot of times when you a step parent and you start to move and say you can't do this and do that, that also brings a child to wrath. But if you educate them and let them know how it's going to be, and this is how it stands, and you have an agreement with the wife, and the wife has an agreement with you, and y'all both are in the same room agreeing with each other, guess what? That puts a child in a hard place where they don't even know what to do. Like, dang, now my mom is on his side. So guess what? It's better for me to listen because she's following him. Because if the mama don't follow what he's saying, then the child is definitely going to run circles over that man. So our job is to create the correction, and it got to be not out of frustration, because sometimes we do correct and we try to discipline with frustration, and that's not that's not the way to go. You have to discipline with order and through the laws of God.
All right. All right, so I'm gonna let this video go a little bit more.
Or even being on the manipulative side and trying to, you know, gain control of a situation. I can see that being a simping space. You know what I'm saying? Some guys feel like they're fulfilling a, you know, mark of manhood by taking on a family too. So they may not. So they may look at it as an opportunity to get some man points.
Yeah, try to be a man.
You know what I'm saying? On some, you know, just real talk.
And I might.
All right, so I'm gonna cut it off because I know that next brother used some different kind of language, right? So I'm gonna cut it off there, right? You're doing it because hey, you just falling in love with this woman's beauty, right? So let's read this, right? We're going in the GNT of Sirach chapter 9, and you can start at verse 1.
Sirach chapter 9 and verse 1. Don't be jealous of the wife you love. You will only be teaching her how to do you harm.
Right. So, hey, you got to love your women, right? As far as exactly what it says in Ephesians, right? Husbands, love your wives, right? Don't literally, you know, bring them any kind of craziness, right? Don't be, we can use the word jealous if we want to take that jealous to explain it how it is today. We know what it is. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if you literally go against your wife, you're teaching her how to do you harm. Because y'all one flesh, right? It's like punching yourself in the arm. You think that stuff gonna feel good after a few punches? Absolutely not. So why is you gonna bring any kind of craziness in your home, right? But let's keep going.
Verse 2: Do not surrender your dignity to any woman. Keep away from other men's wives, or they will trap you.
I read.
Don't keep company with female musicians. They will trick you.
Right. So in the KJV, it just says singers. Right. Let's keep going.
Don't look too intently at a virgin, or you may find yourself forced to pay a bride price.
See, that's the one right there. Right. At a young woman. Right. Don't be staring at her beauty. Right. Don't be gazing at her beauty. Because if you keep doing it, eventually you're gonna want to talk to her. And now you're forced to pay a bride price. And like the brother said, hey, people looking at that as a badge of honor. You know what I'm saying? You think you're gonna get some man points for just stepping in because you just want this woman because she looks so beautiful, and you have no intentions on being there to raise the children how they should be raised. Right? That's the price of some that comes with some women. Right? That's the price. You got to stay away from it. If your whole sole purpose of being with a woman is because she's just beautiful, you might as well look the other way. Right? As a matter of fact, it says that. Read that, verse 8.
God, when you see a good-looking woman, look the other way.
Hey, close your eyes. Do something. Right? Read.
Don't let your mind dwell on the beauty of any woman who is not your wife.
Hey, brothers, this is how you get away from that, right? Keep going.
Many men have been led astray by a woman's beauty. A kindless passion as if it were fire. Don't sit down to eat with another man.
That's it. It kindles passion as if it was fire. Right? We know fire spread. So the more you dwelling on a woman's beauty, the more that lust is gonna spread, and the more you're gonna get yourself in trouble.
God.
All right, so now let's listen to this brother, right? This is a brother.
Imagine being able to
right. This is literally a brother that had a situation with his daughter, right? Brothers might have seen this, definitely some years old. Brothers might have seen this and might remember it once it started playing. But he had a situation about his stepdaughter getting married. And again, this is somebody that he even just says that, hey, this was my girlfriend, but it was my long-term girlfriend, which we classify as wife, right? And my stepdaughter was getting married, but she didn't want me to get her away. So this is what he did, right? Oh, Salaki.
Because her real daddy is the one that's gonna walk her down the aisle. Another a-hole for refusing to pay for my stepdaughter's wedding because her real daddy is the one that's gonna walk her down the aisle. So let me tell you guys about my stepdaughter, all right? She wants her real daddy to walk her down the aisle. Now let me give you a little backstory on me and my stepdaughter. She just graduated from university, which I paid for. Now, she went to an in-state university, but it still cost me about $40,000. Now, I also bought her a car. I bought her a car straight after high school. That way she could go back and forth to school. I bought her a car. She still lives with me and her mother. She does not have a job. Now, she's set to be married on August the 8th. And for the past 6 months, that's all her mother been talking about doing, being occupied with, being consumed most of their time. Now, her daddy, he don't contribute to not 1 cent on her. Not her education, not child support, which is partly her mother's fault because, she didn't fight for that. And I guess that's just what the settlement was. And he only around to make promises. I do that for you. I do this for you, and then take off. And then she'd be heartbroken. But she adores her father, right? So, like I said, she's set to be married in August. And the wedding venue, I told them they can have it in my home. The wedding venue can hold about 250 people, right? Now I said, hey, I got a list of 20 people that I want to come to the wedding. I'm paying for this at my house. I want these 20 people to come. Do y'all know Saturday, I see one of my friends at the golf course, right? He's supposed to come to the wedding. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna see you at the wedding, right? He said, I only got an announcement. I didn't get an invite. I'm like, nah.
All right, so true enough, as he explained it so far, should that have happened, the people he invited, hey, definitely should have been there. You know what I'm saying? Should have been no excuses. But let's keep going, because we're gonna find out this brother didn't count the cost. All right, he didn't count the cost. So let's keep going.
Let my girlfriend and stepdaughter know to send out the invitations on these few people, and you're supposed to get an invite. He said, I got something, but it was an announcement. So we walked to his car because I want to check, right? And sure enough, it was an announcement. So I went and talked to my girlfriend and said, "Did you invite those 20 people to the wedding that I told you about?" Man, she didn't invite none of them. She said 250 people was a little tight, and I don't think we can get your 20 people in there. Man, I was pissed. And the people that were supposed to come, they pissed as well. Then she's gonna say, if any of the people that we already invited don't RSVP, then we'll get some of your people in here. I'm like, what? Man, that's crazy, man. Don't even worry about it, man. I'll just be mad. All right. So now, the crazy part about it is, when I check the invitations, they don't even have my name on them. They have her real daddy and her on the invitation that I paid for.
See this, right? This is the heartbreak that I was talking about, right? This is the heartaches that I was talking about when you're dealing with a child that you raise, you know what I'm saying, you take care of, right? This should have been one of the first things, especially, again, because like he said, even though the father don't do like anything financial, but financial ain't the end all be all. If he's still around, that means he still has some kind of support, right? We want to call it moral support, whatever the case. The father and his daughter still has a relationship, right? So now, you know, he's pissed off because of this situation that's taking place. All right, let's keep going. Let's hear the rest of this story.
Pay for these invitations. How you got a real daddy on there, her mama on there? Cool. Couple days later, I'm hosting the venue at my house, hosting the wedding family at my house, okay? It's me, stepdaughter, girlfriend, groom, and their parents, right? Trying to help everybody get real acquainted. Then a surprise guest shows up, my stepdaughter's real daddy. And I'm like, you know what? Cool. He probably just coming to the wedding, right? But tell me why my stepdaughter proceeds to stand up and announce that her real daddy is giving her away at the wedding. What? The wedding that I'm paying for, in my house, the daddy don't do nothing for you, is giving you away? Oh, and they were just so happy and smiling. Oh, yay, great. Inside, I was fuming. Inside, I wanted to cry or punch somebody. Probably want to do both, honestly.
Look at that, right? And this is what I'm referring to, right? That's exactly what I was referring to about the heartache. Hey, you didn't count the cost. Because especially if the real father is around, you can't expect to literally, although, yes, you fill in, you take care of the daughter financially, you can't expect to literally just take his place. That's not what that role is. The role is not to take his place. The role is to just raise her as your own, right? And if you go by what the scriptures say, right, honor thy mother and thy father, why wouldn't you expect that she will want that, right? Why wouldn't you expect that? But again,
go ahead.
Since we're not in our rightful place, this is where all of the confusion, comes in at, right? We're literally, like, don't get me wrong, I feel for the brother, right? I definitely feel for the brother. I get what he's saying 100%, right? But at the end of the day, you're still not the one that gave birth to. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely get everything that this brother is saying, but go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, see, that's where it goes back to what we were saying back on the drawing board. That's a conversation where the mother is supposed to be there to step up and all that, and even have that daughter to be like, you know what, let's have a sit down and conversation. Let's talk about that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And not get blindsided by at the moment, and you know that he's paying, that your husband's paying for it, and you know that your daughter is looking to have her real dad walk her down the aisle. That's a conversation, because at the end of the day, that just shows me how you are, how you think of me, and how you and your daughter have conversations behind my back. So you are in it just as she is in it, and y'all are guilty. And I don't know, we're not even having the wedding. Somebody got to pick up the bill, because at least as if I've been in your life the whole entire my life, and you never showed up, and then you make that decision that you would want that. Hey, and you was woman enough, and you was and my wife was woman enough to say it, man. Hey, I will only, yes, will it burn? Yeah, it'll burn, but guess what? I will accept it. because at least you had the audacity to tell me and let me know. And I'm cool with it. I wouldn't be excited with it, but I would respect it. Like as long as we got as long as you not doing it by trying to flake on me and you know where I'm coming from, hey, that's cool. But that's the conversation which you need to be having, not dealing with the women because she's so beautiful. And I'm not saying that's his position, but this is what happens to a lot of guys. They fall into a woman's beauty and the fact that they don't ask questions and have a conversation, and that breaks the whole relationship. Now you gotta feel like that. So hey man, that's a hurtful. I feel that, brother, but understand the woman. I will be right after her. Like you wrong. Y'all both wrong for
They definitely 100% wrong, and I definitely 100% agree. Hey, I'm not paying for it. If that's literally the case, like if you can't even give me the common courtesy to have a conversation with me, tell me what you want, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature, then I will not be paying for nothing.
Right?
But if we have that conversation and I literally see, hey, you need help with this, help with that, I will put forth help because that's what I've been doing in the first place. That's how you do that. But this brother, again, like the brother said in the other video, hey, people trying to flex and trying to do and be a certain way and try to be viewed a certain way. Hey, when your money don't matter no more, right? And they feel like, hey, you've been doing this for so long. I expect you to do this, and I expect you to be okay. This is what happens.
Them signs been there. He just really just gone. He was gone. You seen that? No way. You seen that?
Okay.
So I took that time to stand up and give a toast as well. I said, you know, I owe the groom and the bride a deep debt of gratitude because they have opened my eyes tonight. Oh, everybody at the table was just smiling. They have let me know that my position in this family is not what I thought it was. Oh, you should have saw the frowns, man. Now they mad. It done got serious. I let them know I am not the godfather or, you know, the head of the family that I thought I was, the loved one that would be seeked out in times of need. Nah. I realized I'm an ATM. Yeah. So since I have been replaced as host of the wedding, I shall be giving my financial duties to the new host. And I will back out monetarily. Yeah. Yep.
All right. And are you wrong for wanting to back out? But again, it's how you do things, right? Like Mike Island said, it should have been a conversation before you even took on that duty of saying, hey, I'm going to pay for this, I'm going to pay for that, right? It should have been a conversation long ago. That conversation should have been had when he talked about the invitations.
Absolutely.
If they already did that, what you think they weren't gonna go further and do something else? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but again, you wanted to join the show with him. So now you make an emotional decision in a time of I guess trouble, so to speak, right? When there's literally things happening that you really don't, you know what I'm saying? You like, nah, I can't deal with this no more. And now you're just reacting out of emotion. When being a man, right? When being a father, that's not what you're supposed to do. All right, let's a couple more minutes.
Now, after the announcement, a whole lot of snickering was going on around the table, right? A lot of mumbling, but they didn't say anything to me. Nobody addressed me now. Now, later that night, tell me why my girlfriend gonna come to me talking about how I'm ruining so much.
There it is again.
What girlfriend?
Yeah, girlfriend. See? It's the same thing.
Bruh.
Same things. Right? Now, I'm sure it could have been a quote-unquote girlfriend of a long time, but this is why we always say, go to the scriptures. You won't see girlfriend there. You see husband and wife, a man leaving his father and cleaving to his wife. A woman leaving her father and mother, cleaving unto his wife. You don't see girlfriend there.
Man, how I know what? I'm just lost because I'm thinking that they're married. And he said this is his girlfriend. So how long was you saying this is not the woman I want to commit to? And you don't expect these things to happen when you don't commit all the way through, even though we know that you are by law, but in the world society, you don't make a commitment and you just say now you think that you have the right to be the father and you haven't made no commitment but just be an ATM. That's the only commitment you made was to give out money. You know what? Hey brother, you put that on yourself, but I understand. Hey, when brothers do it the right way, I feel for brothers like that. That's done out of order. Because I don't know the whole situation. I don't want to force the judgment on it. But what you just said, that you're not so-called married to her, this is your girlfriend for so many years, and you won't, and you expect a walking down the aisle, and you haven't even made a true commitment like you in the world do it. Hey man, that's on you, brother.
It is 100%.
That is crazy.
Hey, you reap what you sow. When you ain't right with the Most High, these judgments is gonna rain on your head. And this ain't nothing but it ain't nothing but a judgment, right?
We ain't getting man. Forget that.
God.
Crazy, man.
Our daughter ain't this and that. Okay, well, it's apparent that I'm not family in this family. So the family should take care of it, right? That's my stepdaughter. I mean, it ain't even my stepdaughter, really. It's my girlfriend. I just happen to be around her for the last 10 years.
Look, 10 years. 10 years, right? And you can't even make that commitment, like you said. But at the end of the day, we know what it is. At the end of the day, you talking about you've been with her 10 years. We know in the Israelite community, you are married. It is what it is. But guess what? You didn't do what Exodus said. You didn't surely endow this woman to be your wife.
God.
Because otherwise you wouldn't have got as emotional as you got and said, hey, I ain't doing nothing. Y'all don't like, I ain't family. I ain't like, hey, you didn't count the cost, brother. Now let's keep going.
The next day, my girlfriend trying to show me how much I'm ruined, right? She takes me to where they planning the wedding, and the wedding planner showed me, all the things they got going down, everything they got set up. I look at the venue. They got some father-daughter dances, right? 3 songs. All of them catered to her real dad, not me. I looked at the food they got. 2 of the dishes got stuff I'm allergic to in it. I just started laughing. Like, they want me to pay for this? His name on it, not mine. His songs, not mine. The food, I can't eat the food. And the 20 people out of 250 that they can't even come in my house? Wow. Okay.
Again, this is where, hey, another man is in your house, brother.
Huh?
Living rent free. Right? He's not physically there. But hey, he's the one. Hey, you ain't got to do nothing. You doing it. Right?
And again, Ephesians 6:4, provoke not your children to wrath. This is what you do. Hey, that's a learned lesson. I hope brothers and sisters are watching this, and I hope you learn not to do that. Even though in the Israelite community we know what marriage is, but still, not to do something like that. No commitment.
Now I'm going to play. This is the stepdaughter's response, right?
Oh, is this the stepdaughter what he's talking about?
Yeah. Supposedly.
I guess I should finally speak on this because I'm the stepdaughter. The one whose stepfather refused to pay for my wedding because I wanted my actual father to walk me down the aisle. Let me start with this. I know people in the comments think I'm ungrateful or spoiled or whatever, but this is my father. Flawed, yes. Inconsistent, yes. But he's still my father, and no one can ever replace that.
Right? Honor thy mother and thy father. Right? She understands that parents, just because we're parents, don't mean we're perfect. Right? We gotta understand that. Should he do more? Absolutely. Should he be the one paying for the wedding? Absolutely.
Okay.
But when you have that simpish behavior, like the last brother, man, this is what happens. We talking 10 years. right? Although there is no commitment on paper, right? You made a commitment with action, right? And when you presented yourself to be this man, right, they expect you to be this man, this understanding man. And even if you have a problem or issue with it, you don't just let stuff breeze by. Your name ain't on the invitations. You're right. They ain't got the food that you like. Nothing that you like. Your name, the invitations to your people that you want to invite can't even get invitations. They get put on the back burner. All the signs is there. You still have no conversation until when announcements start happening. Now you want to announce something. Now you want to talk when you should have been talking beforehand.
Hey, real quick, before I want to ask you a question. So when you say honor thy mother, thy father, are you still consider that as a step parent, as to being honor thy mother, thy father too?
Yes, that would go for them as well.
That
definitely would go for them as well. Because remember when Yahweh literally says, "Who is my mother? Who is my father? Those that keep the commandments."
I just I wanted you to definitely clear that, just in case if people think like, well, what about so he can't honor, she can't, or he can't honor me, and I'm a stepdad, but I've been there. I just wanted you to clear that up because it made people thinking like that. So,
right. So I'll let her finish going.
Life is short, and I didn't want to look back on my wedding day and regret not us both being there. And no one can ever replace that. Life is short, and I didn't want to look back at my wedding day and regret not giving both of us that moment. My husband actually said it first. Babe, your real dad should walk you down the aisle. And that hit me. Like, yeah, he should. For everything he didn't do, that's still my dad. That's still the man whose DNA I carry. And one moment doesn't erase the damage, but it does mean something to me. And yes, I did tell my stepfather he could walk me down the aisle. I'm not going to lie. I did say that. And at the time, it felt right.
So there was some confusion there, right? So, go ahead.
He's been there for me for years. School, rides, money, everything. He was stable when my dad wasn't. So yeah, I said it. But after talking with my fiance, I realized I wanted something different. And I should have told my stepdad. Yes, I should have pulled him aside. But I didn't know how to say it without hurting him. So it slipped out at the dinner table. And yeah, that was wrong. I'm going to take the blame for that. But I'm not apologizing for wanting my real father to be there at my wedding. And everyone keeps talking about it. Like, everybody keeps talking about the money like I was trying to use him, but I wasn't. I swear I wasn't. I'm just used to him being there. He's never told me no.
The child is used to you doing some things. Right? But you got to understand, brother, listen. It's your child, but it's not your child. And you got to understand, it's going to be things that happen, but that don't mean you walk away. Right? I didn't let his last finish. I didn't let his video finish, but at the end of his video, he said he left. He said he left the woman. He wasn't with the woman no more. Now I don't know if he is or not in real life. That was years ago. That don't matter. Just for the sake of the class, he said he dipped up out of there. When that's not how you supposed to do it. You ain't supposed to just dip up out of there because hardships happen. You're supposed to deal with the issue, grab it by the horns, and you attack that thing. Can you still have that relationship, with your supposed to be wife and your stepdaughter? You should still have that relationship. It should still be going. You should have forgave her. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. And let's just hope Most High willing he did, but I'll let her finish so I can move on.
He paid for school, my car, everything I needed. So was I wrong for thinking that he'd help with the wedding too? He's always helped me. I thought that he wanted to. I wasn't thinking about money. I was thinking about my wedding and how I dreamed that it would look. And that's on me. I should have thought deeper. And I should have seen how it made him feel, but I wasn't trying to use him. And breaking up with my mom over it, I don't understand that part. My mom didn't pressure me. She didn't force anything, any of this. She helped me plan. She supported me. How was she supposed to tell me not to invite my father, even though that's what I wanted? She just wanted me to be happy, her daughter. I'm not trying to bash him. I just wanted to come online and give my side. I love my stepfather, I really do. But I love my father too, even with all his mistakes. And on my wedding day, I chose what my heart would want. And if that makes me wrong, then okay. But I'm not finna apologize for wanting my dad to want me down the aisle. That's it. And that's all. Okay, y'all. That's all I really wanted to say.
All right, so I can stop that, right? I'm gonna play one more video. We ain't gonna get to Kevin Samuels today, right? So I want to play this video, right? Because in this video, the brother says something profound, right? Because again, we gotta think about the kids in this whole matter, because a lot of people forget about that aspect, right? A lot of people forget about that, right? So, right, it says a stepfather versus a biological father. Let's see what the brothers had to say about this.
Brothers, fathers love me and sacrifice. I would trade that for my biological father and mother to be in the house all day long. I could get a bone. Listen, he is my bonus mentor, right? He's a bonus big brother. My best friend's father is a bonus mentor, a bonus father figure. I don't need a bonus father or bonus mentor in my own household. In my own household, I can have that for my father and have his friends and have.
See that? So this is a grown man, right? That literally said that he would trade all of that to just have his real dad in the house, right? It's regardless to how good he's treated you and things of that nature. And brothers, pay attention, right? Because this is how most children feel. And you can't blame them for feeling this way. They would literally rather have their own father in the household, regardless to how much you took care of them, you know, how well you've been there, how much you talked to them through their hardships, right? Whatever it might have been. They first heartbreak in school, whatever. It don't matter. They would rather have their father there. And you cannot get mad at a child for wanting their parents, both of their parents, the ones who brought them in this world, underneath the same household. You can't get mad at that. Right? Let's keep going.
My friends' fathers, the whole 9 yards. So my only point is, it's still a part in you that you wish that both your parents would grow up together. And you speaking from a position of you watching someone else, but you're not in that position.
Yeah. So I have a question for you.
I'm listening.
Okay, so since you considered like yourself to have been surrounded with someone who is like a bonus parent, let's hypothetically speaking, I don't know you personally, but let's say, okay, your father, he wasn't going to be the best depiction of like a father, whatever you would think of a good father for you. He wasn't going to be that. And yeah, the visual image of my mom and my dad are together, it looks pretty. But would you really like trade like your biological father, all the like habitual things that could be messy and toxic and stuff, over like this bonus person who's literally giving you pieces of themselves, like working to take care of you? But they're not your blood.
Listen, every day I would trade that.
See that? Look, even if it's craziness happening, right? Even if my mama and my father don't get along, it's toxic situations, he's still saying, hey, I would still trade that. Right? I would still rather have my father in the house. Right? Let's listen to his reasoning, right? Because the other brother gonna speak on the other side, but let's listen to this brother's reasoning.
You don't understand how it feels.
I'm just interested. I just want to ask because I would have never known.
I'm in the real, just 2 seconds. The yearn for it. I don't care if my father sold drugs. I want him. No matter how much I can still get that bonus father figure. He don't need to be in my house. I'm gonna still get that. I got it. I've been compensated. You're saying when broken homes break up.
No, I'm meaning within the household. Yeah. Like, would you rather
I'll take my father. Listen,
with,
let me
like,
tell you something.
A father that wasn't really present, that's your blood.
There's no. All
right, so or someone who's providing for you that isn't biological at all.
All day long. So replace it all day.
Speaking on what y'all speaking on, right?
So I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum, right? I do agree, however, you should not normalize having a broken home, but if it's what's actually best, I'm always for what's best. Now, for me, right? All right, so my mom ended up dating another man for about, 10 years, basically all of my childhood. That man taught me how to be a real man. If I would follow in my father's footsteps, I'd probably be a simp. And I feel personally standing here, like he's more, my non-biological father is more my father than my real father is. I've learned things from him that I know for a fact I could never learn from my biological father. And I appreciate him more than my actual biological father. I still talk to him to this day. He has kids, with a previous relationship before my mom. And those are my brothers and that's my sister. I call them every day. We talk to each other every day. It's almost as if the blood couldn't make us any closer. So it was just best for the situation. And that's what I'm for. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it is, better. Like if it depends on everything has so many different variables that come into play. But I'm just speaking on the overall picture on what's best.
To provide the kid the best opportunity.
Or not even what's just healthy? The kid. Forget the kid.
What's healthy
to provide the house. Because you got to understand that a kid is in a home. And it's not just having two parents, because you have two parents who are drinking, fighting, or not even drinking and fighting, but
or
fighting
in front of each other, hitting each other.
They're not happy with each other. It's hard to live happily in a place where there's no happiness. It doesn't matter if there's biological parents or it doesn't matter if it's non-biological parents. If there's not happiness in that household, the kid can't be growing up happily. It's just impossible. You're seeing things.
Which that's 100% agreeable with. I agree with that, right? But again, we're talking about children, right? You can think that way. That is the 100% right way to think as an adult. But as a child, put yourselves in the shoes of a child, right? A child, yes, do they want to see that stuff? No, they don't want to see all the arguing, fighting, bickering. They don't want to see it. But they would still rather see their own, right? The ones that gave birth to them, they would still rather see that, right? As a child. I'm gonna let this finish so we can close.
Things that are traumatic constantly, or you're just having a bad energy, bad aura in your house where you're spending majority of your time growing up. You're growing up with negativity in your home. It's not good in any situation. But
you make a I want to say a beautiful point. But I like to go back what Alan said. I can't when you in the household.
I get it.
I can't predict that my father wouldn't make good decisions.
Yeah.
When you work it out and you get past the BS, like Alan was talking about, taking someone back, right? Sometimes it might be in a relationship where someone might do something, and if you could just get over the hump, then you talk about 15, 20 years later, you talking about relationship goals, right? The whole 9 yards. I don't know the projection. I'm saying I would rather give my father the chance.
Yeah,
I don't, because we could sit here and say because he didn't have the burden to be able to take care and raise us, so he didn't have to force himself to be a certain way. But if he was forced to be a certain way, I would like to think that he would make better decisions.
Hey man, to be honest with you, to do with I'm trying to be really careful.
The feminine.
Yeah, he kind of come off like that, man. Just the spirit, I could be wrong, but hey, instead of I sense a feminine spirit, I'm saying, and a feminine spirit, but to go to not to really dive into all that. I mean, no, I look at both ways, man. I look at both ways, man. And as a kid, yeah, you would definitely want your father. I understand it. I definitely understand both ways, because I'm in both. I'm dealing with a situation like that, but I also have my biological father at the same time too. So my father always been in my life, and I know my daughter. Like I look at, man, hey, I at this moment, I just rather have me and my daughter have a conversation with anything, because hey, I definitely get it. I would never in my life try to take my daughter away from her father. That's just hands down.
100% agree. You know what I'm saying? Which is why in any situation I'm talking about, when and she was younger, I would literally say, hey, we going to we gotta go to the emergency room. Hey, call them. Let them know. You know what I'm saying? Hey, she got a report card, call them. Let them know. I don't care if he don't call you. I'm like, no, you call him, tell him my wife, hey, you call, you let him know. Right? You remove any and every excuse because nobody can come saying, hey, well, you didn't tell me, you didn't let me know. Should he be checking? Of course, 100% for certain things. But hey, me being the man that I am, me being the man that was raised by my father, and then eventually my stepfather, the things that they showed me and how their relationship was, now I'm gonna reciprocate that. You know what I'm saying? It's literally going, hey, you make sure they know what's happening. He knows what's happening at the end of the day. Because that's how you create a healthy space. This is how you know, and you put that differentiation between a biological father, you know what I'm saying, and just a father that's there, right? You put that differentiation there, and and the child sees that. Once the child sees that, especially when they get old enough, they'll see, hey, he was never trying to replace him. He always acknowledged him, so on and so forth, right? And it's a different type of appreciation that will come along with that. You know what I'm saying? So last scripture I'm gonna grab, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1, and let's start at verse 12.
All right, this is the book of Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1 and verse 12. Seek not death in the era of your life, and put not upon yourselves destruction with the works of your hands.
With the works of your hands, right? So don't be a man that's a simp that's going after women just because they look good and you know that they got children, but you don't want to step up and take care of them, right? You know that these are young children, young adults, and you know that they have ways about them, you know what I'm saying, in a way that they think as well, right? You're not the end all be all because you're a good step parent, right? So don't put upon yourselves destruction with the work of your own hands. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Right? Go ahead.
All right. For Yahweh made not death, neither have he pleasure in the destruction of the living.
Right. So we know that the Most High Yahweh kills, right, and make alive. Right. That's not what this saying in the context. Right. He didn't make nobody choose death. It's really what he's saying. I didn't make you choose this path. You chose it on your own when you literally decided not to walk in my ways. So when we decided that we're going to divorce our wives, right? We're going to create a whole new family elsewhere, right? We're going to bring in what we call today step parents, right? And confuse the children and bring wrath upon the children, right? Provoking them to anger and jealousy. This is how these things come into play because men is not taking care of their responsibilities. Right? So this is where death comes in at. Right? It's on us. Right? The woes of a stepfather, guess what? It's sorrows, but they're created by you. That ain't the Most High's fault. It's your fault. Right? So before you become and take that role of a stepfather, hey, make a decision that you're going to literally do it because it's a huge job. And sometimes it's thankless. Right? So go ahead.
All right. For he created all things that they might have their being. And the generations of the world were beautiful, meaning were healthful. And there is no poison of destruction in them, nor the kingdom of death upon the earth. For righteousness is immortal. The ungodly men with their works and words called it to them, for when they thought to have it their friend, they consumed to naught and made a covenant with it, because they are worthy to take part with it.
Right? So this is what we're shooting for, right? Immortality, the righteousness that comes with, righteousness and immortality that comes with it, right? We will be worthy, right? When we call it to us, Axelakia. Start read that over because I'm doing that all wrong. Read that over.
Verse 16. But ungodly men with their works and words called it to them.
Right. So the ungodly men called death to them. Right. That's what this is going into. The ungodly men cause death to them by their works. Right. Go ahead.
For when they thought to have it their friend, they consumed to naught and made a covenant with it.
They made a covenant with death.
Okay.
Right? When you decided to lay down with a woman and not even think about her or her children. Right? Or to continuously lay down with a woman and not make a full commitment with her. Right? That's what you made a covenant with. And now the woman may not be lashing out on you, but her children is lashing out on you. And now you can't take it.
Okay.
Now you're ready to give it all up.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and finish it up.
Because they are worthy to take part with it.
God, you worthy to take part with death because of your own works.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna land there. I don't know if you want to bring anything out before we close all the way up.
Let me bring one. Let me just get Proverbs 24:3. Let me get that. Because in a nutshell, definitely, man, everything, good points. And this is a understanding, like these are conversations that needs to be talked about. And rather, in the community of Israel, maybe people agree or disagree. But these are things when we didn't have an understanding of God, these were things we fell into. But now, guess what? Since we understand now, if a brother or a sister is a step parent, guess what? Lace up your boots and strap up because it's going to be a long ride.
Mm-hmm.
But for a man, and I'm always going to start with a man because we are the leaders and we have to set the foundation. We start at verse 3.
God, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 24 and verse 3. Through wisdom is an house builded. So, let me read that again. Through wisdom is an house builded, and by understanding it is established.
How is wisdom as a house builded? Is because it starts with communication. Before you get into any kind of scenario, brothers or sisters, have communication. Know the child father, know the child mother, understand what you're getting yourself into. Know the family, you know what I'm saying? Know what you're getting yourself into. Know the child if the child even shows signs of rebellious. Know that. You know what I'm saying? And know the dynamic of the child and the parent that lives with you in the house. Know that dynamic. Because again, what we just seen in that video earlier, the man should have knew the dynamic of the mother and the daughter, how they work together. Do they communicate? Because see, when you lack communication, you fall stranded to a lot of situations like that. But when you're going through wisdom to build a house, that means when I'm about to marry you, I'm going to use wisdom to build my house. And I'm going to establish with understanding that we all understand that if I'm going to raise this child and I'm marrying you, I'm taking on you and her or him. That means that I am going to be the leader of the home. And we have to have that establishment. If we can have that establishment, then therefore we can take this all the way. But if this don't have an agreement of all, hey, you got to get out of there. But man, you got to be smart. Don't go out there and lay with her first and then come with an establishment.
Okay.
Don't go out there and like, hey, I'm going to lay with her because she fine and this, and I locked in with her. No, have a conversation because as well as you're courting her, you're courting the child too. You got to know what you're getting yourself into, right? Because you can't marry emotionally.
That's right.
Do that. You got to understand what you're stepping into. That's for sure. And you got to be thinking, are you ready to raise another child? Are you willing to go ahead and be a step parent? Because it takes a lot to be a step parent, more than it is to be a to be a biological father.
Okay.
Because you're dealing with 3 parents.
Mm-hmm.
And if the third parent is not on board, then guess what? It's chaos. And you better have a good circle around you because, hey, you're going to need that circle every moment. Because if the circle ain't great, man, you're going to mess around and go to jail. You're going to mess around and kill somebody. Or you like what you said earlier, you're going to cut the cost. You're going to get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't have a great team. You need a team when you're dealing with this type of situation. Right? You need the law, statutes, the commandments to deal with the situation. You got to be a man and not to be emotional. This is straight logic movement. This ain't emotional movement. This is straight logic. And you got to know if you can love a child correctly.
Do you love a child correctly when the time when it falls not the way you want it to fall? Can you still love a child when the child say you ain't my daddy? Like you can't be emotional about this. So you gotta think about before you step in a lane like that. If that's not your lane, man, hey, look for a woman or a sister, look for a brother that don't have a child. But if you can handle those things, make sure that the mother, make sure that the father is in the agreement that you here to step in and help bring a foundation together. Because we're gonna be a family. I don't have to beat on your child. Hey, I'm even gonna watch you from afar and see how you discipline your child. Like, how do you react when your child reacts to you in a negative way? Do you step in? Because if you can't do that, that's kind of hard. So if I step in and I say something and you jump on me, then, hey, this ain't going to work.
Okay.
Because, hey, we got to have a conversation how we can make this work. If I love you that much, I'm going to have a conversation and say, how are we going to make this work? And you got to understand where I'm coming from. Don't take the bandage of a badge of honor as a stepfather away from me if I'm trying to be a father and provide and give good counsel. Don't do it. Women, that's where y'all off at. When y'all step in the wrong time. Let the man do his job if he's trustworthy. If he's not trustworthy, I understand in the beginning, keep an eye on him. Keep an eye on him. But allow him to step in. Don't you step in the way. Because if you're doing that, then when they do y'all have children together, you're going to do that the same way when they his own child, then that's going to be a lot of collision. Right? So read verse 4.
It says, and by knowledge shall the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches.
Right. So if you're doing it right, man, it's gonna be the household gonna be ran as an oil machine. Rather, if it's gonna be some off days, it's gonna be some good days going too. Because if you're running it with knowledge and order, man, your house is gonna be in order. Rather, if the child may be feeling some kind of way, if the child is there to respect you and do what you're saying, hey, that's good. That is a good thing. Because if you get the child that's saying, you ain't my daddy, forget you, I ain't got to listen to you, that's not a good thing. Right? Read verse 5.
A wise man is strong.
A wise man is what?
Is strong.
He's going to be strong-minded to go ahead and before he get in this situation, he's going to have that conversation in the eye to open to see everything. Go ahead.
Yea, a man of knowledge increaseth strength.
He's going to gain strength. He's going to gain control of his house. Right? Verse 6.
For by wise counsel shall thou make thy war.
Right. So what wise counsel, what we know is the Bible. The wise counsel we're going to get is from the Bible. We're going to make thy war. What I mean by that, we're going to get them prepared for when they go out there and ready for war from the world that's going against them. Right? And again, if you're in a situation, maybe your daughter may or your son may not believe in the truth or understand, hey, guess what? You still show up. Because somewhere down the line, whether you believe they're listening or not, they're picking up traits when they leave from you and they start doing things that they're normally seeing in your household. They're living the law without even them, whether they believe it or not. Real talk, when they come around people that's different. And I'm speaking facts. Or if the child want to be rebellious, the child's gonna be rebellious. You can't control that, but you show up as a stepfather or a stepmother. You still show up. You don't wipe them off, even though you may want to at times, but you can't, because something in your spirit tells you can't let that person go, because you know that they don't understand right now. Go ahead.
And the multitude of counselors there is safety.
That's why I said it right there. You need multitude. You need a good circle around you when you're dealing with a stepchild. You can't go there headstrong thinking like I got this and it's my way or no way. You can't do that. Sometimes you have to have a conversation with the child, with the parent, and you got to know what the child is coming from. And you got to understand that you're going to lose a lot of fights with this. But I tell you right now, if you hold on and your child understands that you was really good to them and you taught them to still love their father, rather if the father was there or not, you told them to still show up for him, still forgive him no matter what, guess what? That takes it a long way to see what kind of father you really are. That's not what they're really looking at, or what kind of mother you are. So I will say this, stay the course. Do not wipe them out. Do not feel like you got to give up, because what you're doing, especially when you do law, statutes, and commandments, you are really destroying the child and the family. So I say, hold on and take it all the way through, and I land there, brother.
Calm, most definitely, man. So, hey, all honor, glory, and praises goes to the Most High. Hey, can't give him enough praise. You know what I'm saying? Enough praise for the strength, that he give us, just to continuously do this job. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't talking about teaching. I'm talking about fatherhood. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, all glory and honor go to him, because without him, none of this stuff is possible. None of this stuff is possible. You know what I'm saying? The parents that raised us, all praises for them. Hey, all praises, right? So, so come back, tomorrow. Actually, I'm not going to pull it up, right? But tomorrow again, 10 a.m., Elder Zahab definitely be bringing it out. Yeah, man, I ain't really got a whole lot to say after that.
Hey, good class, brother, man. Hey, that was definitely well needed in the Israel community. Hey, again, it's edification no matter what, if it's the truth, man. So, hey, good job of letting the Most High deal with you, bring it out. Let the Spirit deal with you, man. Hey, continue to you let the Most High use you, brother. All praise to the Most High.
Most definitely. Right. And I will say, hey, brothers and sisters, it's literally 1 month, to Passover. So, hey, get your spirits right, first and foremost, right? Before you start, even if you haven't started, booking flights, booking rides, get your spirits right? Before you do that, come to Passover, ready to serve the Most High, get your spirit, get the leaven out your spirit, all of that, right? So, and you use all of these classes, not just this Friday class, but Saturday class, right? Monday class, Wednesday, Thursday, right? Use all of these classes, and then whatever else you may hear, it could be other brothers and sisters, if you are a brother and sister that do listen to other camps, it's cool, but use all of that stuff to get rid of that leaven and come ready to serve the Lord this Passover, right? April 1st, Newark, New Jersey. If you want to come through, hit the email up, right? So, hey, all praise to the Most High. Hey, shalom, y'all. Shalom. Enjoy y'all Sabbath.
Shalom.
We send them prayers up. And then the blessings come down. Yeah. Let's get it. I pray material things never blind me. I pray all this fake love will never find me. I pray I don't have fear for any other man. What I pray for the most is that you understand. I pray material things never blind me. I pray all this fake love will never find me. I pray I don't have fear for any other man. And what I pray for the most is that you understand. If you say you're a king, you gotta have the standards. I say that I pray when I don't have the answers. Don't know the way, then prayer has to come in. It's okay to pray and don't ask for nothing. Ready for war, but I pray for peace. Know the book says, don't let your prayers cease. Pray for the strength to pray for enemies. Pray to forget these childhood memories. Put on the size 11s, it's the wrong shoes any day. Cowboys team, man, you're gonna lose anyway. Don't come for me, sorry, I don't got a team. Can't be MLK if I never said I got a dream. I pray to Yahweh that he bless you. I pray that you pass, cause life will test you. I pray on the days that things are stressful. Remember, Israel to God is something special. I pray material things never blind me. I pray all this fake love will never find me. I pray I don't have fear for any other man. What I pray for the most is that you understand. I pray material things never blind me. I pray all this fake love will never find me. I pray I don't have fear for any other man. And what I pray for the most is that you understand. Yahweh Shah came so he could feed his people. Solomon prayed that he could lead his people. Wise as he was, he didn't see the evil. I pray for the day Yahweh frees the people. Babylon the Great breaking all walls down. Kanye's song, when it all falls down. I pray every day, that's a part of me, that we all celebrate like classic R&B. Cool in this gang, there's so many speakers. I pray that you learn, we have so many teachers. I pray for the kingdom, cause it needs to come. I pray for Isaiah 14:1. Always be thankful, what my lady said. Don't ask for much, just my daily bread. I pray on the days that things are stressful. Remember, Israel to God is something special. I pray material things never blind me. I pray all this fake love will never find me. I pray I don't have fear for any other man. What I pray for the most is that you understand. I pray material things never blind me. I pray all this fake love will never find me. I pray I don't have fear for any other man. And what I pray for the most is that you understand. We send the prayers up, and then the blessings come down. Prayer's y'all weapon, y'all. Make sure you pray every single day. Don't just ask for things, but pray to the Most High to deliver us.